Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we're going to be looking at a very messy situation involving the popular VTuber Filian. Now she's been canceled many times in the past, but this one is very unique where she was let go by one of her major producers over her collaboration with several Russian VTubers. Now, of course, this is going to get into some topics that are very serious like the Ukraine and Russia war, but everything I've seen so far regarding this situation and the related posts, I see a lot of misinformation. And I'm not here to be the arbiter of truth. I'm not here to tell you how you should or shouldn't think about this situation. But the problem is, I think a lot of the people supporting the decision of the producer are doing so not only on, at best, guilt by association, but that guilt by association is based on layers upon layers upon layers of misinformation that is instantly debunkable. So let's get right into it. My goal here is to give you context and you can make your own decision. Now we begin with the Vtuber Awards. This is something that is hosted by Filian. This is a very big event and it has two major producers, okay? It has Mythic Talent and WePlay Studios. And yesterday, WePlay Studios came out with this statement in a vague sense, clearly cutting ties with Filian for her association with Russian VTubers. So let's read the statement. As a company deeply rooted in Ukraine, WePlay Studios has consistently shown a pro-Ukrainian position. Since February of 2022, we have terminated all collaborations with individuals and entities from the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus. We remain committed to working with partners who share and respect these values. Unfortunately, recent developments have prompted us to reevaluate our involvement in one particular project. WePlay Studios is discontinuing its work with the Vtuber Awards and will no longer be involved in its production. This decision follows action taken by the event's host and founder, unnamed but it's clearly Filian, cooperation with the Russian community, which is not aligned with our values and position. Despite this, the Vtuber Awards show represents a unique and ambitious initiative with the entertainment industry, and we are proud of the creative and technical contributions our team has made over the past 2 years. We are grateful to the companies and collaborators who partnered with us throughout the process. Now, there's a lot to unpack there, obviously. And again, if a Ukrainian company doesn't want to associate with some sort of a Russian company or something like that, I think people understand that. But this is, based on the wording, at best cutting ties with Filian for collaborating with Russian VTubers. And due to the vagueness of this post, a lot of people are filling in the gaps themselves, and it's leading to a lot of tension. Now, here's some of the more popular quotes of this post. It was because Filian did a collab with a Russian VTuber. Just because they are Russian, that doesn't mean they agree with what's going on in Ukraine. Here's a reply saying, I must have missed the part where Filian donated millions of dollars to the Russian war efforts and became Putin's top gal. Here's another one from Armchair Expert. He says, stunning and brave with this meme article. This is not a real article. He clearly made this because it's written by Sukabiats. We salute you. Ukrainian soldier delivers heartfelt thank you to WePlay Studios for denouncing Vtuber Award show. In quotes, we've been hoping for an order to withdraw from the front lines, but seeing WePlay withdraw from the Vtuber Awards comes a close second. Here's another one with a lot of support, about 6,000 likes, saying, I'm sorry, I was very unthoughtful of me to be born in Russia. I'll educate myself to become a better person. I'll choose a place to be born more mindfully next time to not disturb people with my nationality. Discrimination by nationality is all right when you do that right. And of course, we really have a very divisive narrative. I think overall a lot of people are not happy with this decision. They have their concerns about it and what kind of a precedent it sets. But there's this other side that is in rampant support of it, and I understand some of the points being made, but a lot of the people are supporting this decision based on layers upon layers of misinformation. Basically, what they're trying to do is say this. At best, they're using guilt by association to say that Filian actively worked with Russian VTubers who are problematic, and this collaboration somehow would end up with WePlay Studios directly funding these Russian VTubers who would then, through their taxes, benefit the Russian military, which would then harm Ukrainians. And of course, all of this hinges upon things that I think are pretty easily dispellable. Now, this is the sort of narrative I've seen posted many times, probably 100 different times on different posts. This person says, for those who want proof, Filian collaborates with a streamer who works in the Russian defense, which she herself says. Now, there's a lot, again, that has to be fully accurate for this to make any sense. So, Filian has to knowingly collaborate with a streamer who works in the Russian defense. Now, this is the proof they provide, of course, untranslated clips, but I will find this. I was able to find this, and you have a comment, again, untranslated. So, what they're referring to here is a interaction, a series of interactions, not collaborations, interactions that happened between Filian and this Russian VTuber named Kamish. And what they're showing in that clip that they linked is this right here, where at, I believe, the 3-minute mark or so, in Russian, they say that they work for the Russian defense. And, of course, that is something that they're using as kind of the main pillar to condemn Filian. But the problem is, they're coming out here in boldface saying they collaborated. And I will show you that, at best, there's only been a planned, possible collaboration, and that Filian likely never knew that this person worked for the Russian defense. In fact, the first interaction happened a couple weeks before that clip where she was doing a collab stream with Lena, and at one point, Kamish raided Filian, and Filian clearly did not know who this person was.
I'm getting raided. Oh, frick. Kamish! Oh, what up, Kamish? Yo! Wait, so who is this, Chad? Russia? Dude! I keep getting raided by Russian VTubers. That's so sick. Hi! Kamish! Can you teach me Russian sometime? I want to learn more than Privyet and Sikabliat.
So this is the first interaction and what many people are calling a completed collaboration between the two, where Filian knew about this person's profession. But we just saw, she clearly had never interacted or even seen this Russian VTuber before. And even after reading with the chat said, oh, this is a Russian VTuber. You should teach me Russian sometime. It's clear based on that moment, Filian thought this was just another Russian VTuber and she wanted to possibly have some sort of a collab in the future where she could learn Russian. Nothing about any political statements, nothing about the background of this individual. It was just that bare bones. And of course, they keep trying. They keep trying to find other instances and proof of this collaboration that still has never happened, where that same poster links this saying, proof of desire to work with a killer. They're now calling this person a killer, and that Filian is trying to collaborate with that person.
I see so many people spamming Russian. Okay, chat, what if you're Russian? Be honest. Where are my Russian viewers at? For the Russian viewers, I have an announcement for you guys. I am in contact now with 2 Russian VTubers. Trixie Vox and X Kamisha. Whenever. I am attempting to organize a collab. Now, one of them speaks no English, so I do not know how that's gonna work. The other one, I am going to find out if she speaks English. That's right, chat. Me and the Russian VTubers are gonna be raiding B, and I'm gonna scope him with my op. So yes, I'm going to learn Russian. I haven't told them a date yet, chat, but I want to try and do it next Wednesday.
So here we are at that point a few weeks later after the first interaction. Now they're talking about a collaboration where, again, they might learn some Russian from this VTuber and have some sort of a collaboration. Now, of course, this is their proof. This is the slam dunk that somehow this is proof that they knew, Filian knew this person worked for the Russian defense, and that somehow collaborating with them would also force WePlay Studios to give this person money that would then go to the tax system, that would then go to the Russian military, that would then cause Ukrainians harm. It's a bit of a stretch. And also when you start looking at everything, the surrounding circumstances, the proof that's going around that this person exclaimed they work for the Russian defense comes from this video. And of course, YouTube no longer provides a direct date, so you have to use systems like this. And you can see the upload date, June 19th, okay? A few weeks after the first interaction, and seemingly a few days before the second collaboration discussion. And to give even more proof, I found another version of this clip, the same source material here, that was uploaded. And if you check out the system again, same date, June 19th. So it seems like that original stream was around June 19th. Now you look at the second video that we looked at where Filian announces again a potential collab with Kamish. That was uploaded on June 15th, so 4 days prior. In fact, if you go to the actual stream source, and if you don't know this with Twitch, if you hover over a stream, it will show you the date it was made, which was June 14th. So based on everything we've seen, these people are trying to say that based on the public clip, Filian should have known or already knew that this person worked with the Russian defense, but that clip came 5 days after the stream where she announced her further intentions to collaborate with this VTuber. So the timeline's not adding up, and basically their entire narrative depends on the timeline adding up, and it doesn't. And again, if you want to make your own sort of judgments here based on whatever you find compelling, that's your decision, that's your opinion. But the people are, like we've seen, are spreading these crazy narratives that did not happen. There was no collaboration, there was only intent to collaborate, and that came after clips that were released where this person said they work for the Russian defense that they're also assuming that Filian must have seen. And then somehow it ties into the statements made by WePlay Studios. And the problem with their statement is it's very vague. Now, I think based on context and kind of what I know about the parties involved, I think it's very clear they're talking about Filian, and they're likely talking about the collaboration intention with Kamish. But there's also another example people are looking at, and it's a collaboration they did with Smugglana, who is Russian, but also an American. And this was a stream with another Russian VTuber that was posted about 2 months ago. This is the only other thing that I could find, but it seems like this non-political stream with people who are not in any way associated with the Russian government probably wasn't the one that caused this, and it seems like it's much more on the Kamish intended collab and those interactions. But that's really what we're dealing with here, and the amount of misinformation I've seen on this is crazy. Again, I've said this a million times. People will think I'm forcing someone to think a certain way about this. I'm just trying to give an even and fair playing field where people can see what's actually happening and then make an informed opinion based on that. People are trying to make statements about events that never happened. People are making connections that aren't there, and they're saying things that are complete misrepresentations of what's actually occurring, and also they're trying to screw up the timeline of events to make Filian look guilty of whatever perceived wrong that they're trying to invoke. But for now, that's going to do it for this very messy situation. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.